Hi, I'm Megan Green, and I'm a tennis player at Austin College. I am a sophomore. I started coaching basketball when I was 14. I got into it by through the city. They asked me, "Oh, you're a high school athlete. You play basketball. Can you come help us with coaching the little league?" And so I started when I was 14, and I coached first, second, third, fifth, sixth, eighth, and senior high ever since then, and it's been going on since then for 6 years. I did a lot of community service through my church in Farmersville and in Lavon that are close to here in Sherman. In Farmersville, we were building buildings for our church and for other buildings within the community. We did a lot of mission trips overseas, one being to Honduras. In Lavon, we did a lot of going to not so great areas of the community and helping them through food drives and helping them rebuild part of their buildings and everything else. And that's what really inspired me to go and help with little kids. So I did a lot of Awanas and GAs and all that stuff through VBS also. Through my community in my church, a lot of them were like, "Oh, you should, since you already know the kids in the younger ages, like the first and second grade, why don't you help coach them in basketball?" And so that's how I really got into coaching basketball. I mean, yes, I did play, and it was the love of my life, but that really helped me combine all of mine together. And there's one little girl that I'll never forget. Her name was Mason, and she was a pageant girl, and she was like, "I'll try basketball." So she was in my little team, and she loved doing her little princess wave and doing cartwheels on the court. And the one thing I had a hard time with was "No, Mason, you can't do cartwheels on the court. It doesn't happen that way." But by the end of the year, she was our best defensive player ever. She was kind of scared to hold the ball, but that's what first graders are. They're not really great, but she was our best defensive player. She was so great. In my senior high class, it was kind of hard making them focus on one thing at a time because they were like, "Oh my gosh, I have a date with Tommy," and "Oh my gosh," all senior high things, they're growing up, they're being adults by themselves. But it was really fun because I also got from the basics, but I got also from the senior high the really complicated stuff "Oh, let's start no look passes, let's do Euro steps, let's do all of this stuff." And so it was really good transition for me on that part. Um, my transition stage with my sixth graders was I was trying to teach them the fundamentals, get it down perfectly, but I was also introducing them to the complicated stuff like charges and the start of the pro hops and stuff like that. And in one of the games, one of my girls took a textbook charge. It was so beautiful. She literally stood there, closed her eyes, and the girl ran over her, and she got a block, and she was like, "You know what, coach, I got it next time. I'll do it." I'm like, it really made me happy and made me feel like I was actually making an impact in her life. I was teaching her discipline, but in a way of okay, I got it wrong this time, but I'll get it right the next time. So that was a couple of my experiences in helping my community. At Austin College, I was able to do the Special Olympics, the bowling session for some little kids. So we went over to the bowling complex that we have here, and it was mainly just "Oh, just get the kids up there and show them how to bowl, or get the little push bowler thing and just help them go along with it." I enjoyed that so much. The little kids were so enjoyable, and all of them were competing for awards, and it was mainly just "Oh, yes, you got this score, this is what you get, good job." And it was just so sweet because all the kids were literally just there to have fun. They weren't really "Oh, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna do this," and senior high kids or college athletes like myself. They were just "Oh, I'm just gonna go out and have fun with my friends." So that was fun. And then the basketball team also last year put together a camp for younger children on the fundamentals, "Oh, let's shoot a layup, let's dribble, let's do this and that and the other." And so that was fun, and it was really enjoyable for me just to interact with the kids and play games within the certain skill levels. And so it was great. It was a good experience. I just want to thank the SCAC for nominating me for the Character and Community Award.